So, look at the photo. You see two women, right? And actually three women, but the first photo, it looks like maybe under pressure. And the second one looks like more modern, right? Yeah. Anyway. Hello everybody, my name is Gulce. As you know, I'm from Turkey. Today we're gonna journey in the past. Because today I will talk about a man who changed a native destiny. Let's start. His name is Mustafa Kemal Atatürk. Yeah. He was born in 1881 in Selanik in Ottoman Empire. That's the house that he was born. He went to primary school, secondary school in Selanik. After that, he took an exam for military school, but secretly because his family didn't want to be a soldier. And he passed the exam, and the story starts. End of the all education, he became a chief of commander. Yeah, this is Ottoman Empire. Like I said, he was born in Ottoman Empire. Ottoman Empire was founded in 1299 and destroyed in 1922. It was conducted by monarchy. It's actually the first Turkish country before Turkish Republic. A lot of people from different native was living together, but after French Revolution, all people wanted to found their own governments. So it caused lots of revolution in Ottoman Empire. In those days, Atatürk was a military officer who just graduated his school. You see there are a lot of battlegrounds. It means there are a lot of wars at the same time, and it's hard to struggle with them. As a patriotic, ideally successful military officer, Atatürk started the War of Independence. Atatürk started the War of Independence in 1919. I will just show a short video to make clear.
We're here to compare Plus Fare, WestJet's premium economy offering, with the highest level economy fare of the other guy.
The Ottoman Empire suffered defeat in World War I at the hands of the British, the French and their allies. However, during the war, the Allied nations signed secret agreements on how to divide up the territory. Britain and France already occupied the Levant and would go on to divide it amongst themselves, and Arabian nations had gained their independence, so they turned their attention to Anatolia. France and Britain wanted the east to add to their new Middle Eastern regions. Greece looked to expand east and take the west coast of Anatolia. Italy wanted the southern coast, and the new nation of Armenia would take the northeast. The Ottoman Empire would be reduced to a small amount of land around Ankara. When the war ended, an armistice was signed, and in November 1918, a French brigade entered Constantinople and occupied the city. Paris Peace Conference began in 1919, and the Allies discussed finalising their plans to divide Turkey amongst themselves. Meanwhile, Allied troops occupied more and more towns in the Ottoman Empire. However, there were land disputes amongst the Italians and the Greeks, so the Italians left the peace conference. This pushed the Greeks to land in Izmir and begin their first military campaign. There were pockets of resistance around Anatolia, but largely they were easily crushed. Meanwhile, an army general, Mustafa Kemal, recognised that his government was being oppressed by foreign nations and not fighting back. He decided to organise his own resistance. He united local resistance movements with military units to fight to keep the land inhabited by Turks united. On April the 23rd, 1920, the Grand National Assembly gathered in Ankara and elected Mustafa Kemal as the chairman. However, the Sultan had already signed the Treaty of Sèvres with the Allied powers, dividing the empire amongst the powers and making the Dardanelles and Istanbul an international zone. Kemal rejected the treaty, and this effectively gave the Turks two governments, Kemal's republic in Ankara and the Sultan's government in Istanbul. Kemal's republic soon started to fight against the Allies on three fronts: Greece to the west, Armenia to the east, and France to the south, and they all received a lot of backing from other nations. However, Kemal was able to get help from the Soviets, who wanted to move into Armenia and find a new ally. They sent the Turks thousands of weapons, and then Bolshevik troops took Yerevan and established a new Soviet government in Armenia. The two nations then signed a treaty to establish new borders. With the Armenian front freed, this allowed Kemal to focus on Greece in the west. In early 1921, the Greeks were pushing on Ankara. However, they were halted at the Battle of Zarkaya. The Battle of Zarkaya and the loss of Armenia undermined the French desire to continue the war, so they made peace with the Turks and cemented the Turkish-Syrian border. Kemal then led an offensive against the Greeks and retook Izmir in September 1922. He then began to threaten Constantinople, which was under international control. The British Prime Minister Lloyd George pushed for war, however he couldn't find the support in Parliament or amongst other European nations, or even in their Canadian Dominion. The Trnap crisis, as it was called, saw the election of the anti-war Conservative government in Britain, and an increase in self-determination in Canada. The new British government then persuaded the Greeks to abandon Constantinople, and peace talks began. However, the Allied states invited the Sultan's government to the peace talks. Kemal didn't wish to see the government who fought against him represented at the conference, so he decided to abolish the Sultanate, ending the Ottoman Empire, which had been around for over 600 years. The Treaty of Lausanne was signed in 1923. It secured Turkish independence and established very similar borders to what the country has today. Meanwhile, in Greece, the war caused discontent and rebellions, which forced King Constantine I to abdicate in 1922, and then his son, George II, had to give way for the Second Hellenic Republic. During the campaign, both the Greeks and the Turks committed a number of atrocities. The deaths of hundreds of thousands of ethnic Greeks within Turkey encouraged the two nations to agree to a population exchange. Turks and Muslims went to Turkey, while Greeks and Christians went to Greece. Nearly 2 million people would cross the Greek-Turkish border.
So, to sum up, he saved the country from all enemies, but that wasn't enough. Actually, after all these wars, he made a lot of innovations. Let's see them. Yeah. The first one is he founded the Republic of Turkey in 1923, and he was elected the first president of Turkey. It means for Turkish Republic, no more monarchy, start democracy. And he always believed that the women's and the men's should have equal rights, and he pretended the equality of women and men in every sense. For example, he gave the right to elect and be elected to women in 1930. Turkey is the second country to give these rights. I think Norway must be the first. And Atatürk is not just a chief of commander or not just a president. Actually, he is a real public man. He always cares about his public's progress, and he always supports science and arts. This is his words of wisdom. A nation who is lack of art is cut off ways of life. And he has a geometry book, and the other wise of wisdom is, if my opinions are against the science, in one day you will choose science. And 10th of December 1938, 9 p.m. at Thursday morning, he just passed away because he was sick. He has a cirrhosis. And I can say he's a long life because he was just 57 years old when he died. But I can say he did a lot of things for his public in a short time. And his dad took a part in the world media. A lot of important men say about him beautiful things after he died. And why I admire him, why I choose him, because he's a good chief. he's a genius politician, and the important thing is he created a modern Turkey. But they are not why I admire him. I'm pretty grateful for this. But before I say why I admire him, I want to share with you a short story. I mentioned about Ottoman Empire, you remember? And I said there are a lot of wars and he saved the country. And after all these wars, one day his assistants asked him, what do you want to be? Because he saved the country and he has a right to conduct the country. And his assistant asked him, do you want to be Caliph or Padishah? So what do you think? Which school he chose? Do you have an idea? A Caliph or Padishah? Nothing? Actually, no one. Because he said he wants to be a teacher. So that's why I admire him, because he devoted himself for his republic. In addition, the most people think this photo is the most happiest moment of Atatürk, but actually I think it's not. I think this photo is the moment that his happiest moment. And he said, teachers, the new generation will be your devotion. Thanks for listening.